staying up late every day, revenge scrolling on your phone, feeling anxious and restless, overthinking, being sensitive yet numb, habitually blaming yourself, burning out internally, and not knowing how to handle relationships. Emotions are the foundation of our life's building blocks. Every tremor in this foundation shakes the towering structures of learning, work, and intimate relationships, threatening collapse. On the other hand, emotions are maddeningly elusive, diverse, layered, piling up, and pressing down harder the more you try to suppress them. Joining me to decode emotions is my Watson Pause This is our fourth collaboration, and I believe their emotional EBP, evidence-based practice, isn't just a tool to explore the roots of emotional struggles. It's the most promising emotional training Nearly 100,000 people, including myself, have practiced But instead of explaining what EBP specifically achieves, let's talk about how complex the emotional problems we aim to solve together are and how many misconceptions surround them. If you want to master your emotions and kickstart meaningful change, join us to explore the world behind When people encounter anxiety, anger, or frustration, they tend to play one of three cards. The first card is ignore, aka brushing emotions off as no big deal. Our everyday catchphrases reveal traces of this neglect. What's wrong with these common expressions? A detective's magnifying glass must zoom in on the details. Annoyance isn't a real emotion. Real emotions are more nuanced, like anger, shame, anxiety. When you repeatedly gloss over them, you miss nearly all the signals these emotions carry. These signals aren't meaningless noise. In ancient times, they quickly told our ancestors what to do next. Anger, for instance, signals that your boundaries have been crossed, urging you to act and defend yourself. Sadness conveys a significant loss, calling for time to heal and adjust. Anxiety warns that inaction could lead to serious consequences. In today's tech-savvy world, you don't have to obey these signals, but ignoring them entirely is like ignoring your innermost needs. It's like being thirsty and refusing water. Over time, you grow more distant from yourself. Imagine a future moment when you're asked to give a speech to your class or company. Are you feeling anxious and tense, or excited and thrilled? The physical reactions can be similar. If you can't accurately identify them, you might amplify the risks and miss a golden opportunity. The consequence of refusing to communicate with yourself is losing the ability to discern your truest inner voice. Lisa Feldman Barrett, president of the American Psychological Association, calls this precision in defining and describing emotions emotional granularity. Studies show that people with high emotional granularity, those skilled at recognizing emotions, better handle negative feelings, understand others, reduce social anxiety, avoid alcohol abuse or self-harm, and are less easily provoked. The second card we play is avoidance. Whenever we feel down, we buy useless stuff but can't stop. Think of that durian cake from the shop by the door. At my worst, I'd buy 5 in a week. I couldn't sleep without eating one. I'd scroll my phone late into the night, exhausted but unwilling to sleep. When we play these cards, emotions counter with a reversal card, addictive behavior. After a brief self-numbing escape, you're trapped in an awkward cycle. Stop the shopping spree, and the negative emotions roar back, while the triggering event remains unresolved. It's like the protagonist in Confessions of a Shopaholic. When work goes south, she shops wildly to relieve stress, yet ironically teaches others financial management. Avoidance doesn't fix the core issue. It deepens your reliance on external distractions. The third card is denial. We silently tell ourselves, no, I must cheer up fast. I must stay emotionally stable. I can't lose control. Play the denial card, and emotions hit back harder, escalating the chaos. Labeling anxiety or anger as the enemy puts your brain on constant high alert, popping up daily notifications. Is the anxiety gone? Gone yet? Still there? Why do I feel so bad? So bad? So bad? To make matters worse, thanks to how human memory works, the more you try to forget something, the more it sticks in your mind. Denial and attention fuel the fire, making your emotions burn hotter and longer. Unable to extinguish it, you slowly sink into a pit of self-rejection. If ignore, avoidance, and denial share a common root, it's the refusal to accept and tolerate emotions. Whether it's uncomfortable physical reactions or learned social experiences, we wrap our emotions up like an onion, The AEDP Therapy's triangle of emotional change offers a clear nesting doll framework to understand this. We all have core instinctive emotions: anger, fear, sadness, joy, excitement. But because we resist them, we spawn 3 inhibitory emotions: anxiety, shame, and guilt. These feel awful too, so in the end, we resort to defensive behaviors. The model suggests that when we dare to peel back the onion layer by layer, we enter a state of connection with our true selves, calm and curious. In a break from reading about emotional EBP, there's a metaphor: emotions, sensations, and thoughts are like the weather, and we are the sky. The weather keeps changing, but the sky simply holds space for it. We're not just our emotions, we're the vessel containing them. Instead of rushing to reject your feelings, ask yourself, what's bothering me? What might be causing this irritation right now? Digging into the root information makes it more likely to replace ineffective defenses with meaningful improvements. Even armed with wisdom, you might still suppress emotions, self-criticize, overspend, or lash out. When you try to peel the onion, an inertia seems to hold you back. Why? If faulty coping habits like habitual or automatic persist too long, they solidify into a DNA-like default mode. Knowing the right way to cope and actually doing it are worlds apart. The hidden mechanism here is our brain's neuroplasticity. Every habit and emotional reaction is driven by neural pathways in the brain. The more a pathway is used, the sharper it gets, becoming your brain's autopilot route. You know you should adjust your emotions and change your behavior, but inertia drags you back to the old track because those old circuits are too strong, looping on instinct. Think about it. Has that emotional issue been haunting you for months, a year, 5 years, or longer? The good news is neuroplasticity also proves change is possible with consistent, science-backed practice. When you train yourself to respond with new patterns, even if it feels awkward at first, your brain quietly rewires itself. This brings me back to my Watson Pause Lab and their scientifically systematic emotional EBP training. It targets all the scenarios mentioned earlier. The first part, emotion recognition and understanding, is perfect for those who play the ignore card. It offers professional psychology tools to familiarize you with your emotional cues, pinpointing what's troubling you and why, with daily exercises designed meticulously. The second phase, emotion regulation training, speaks to those stuck on avoidance and denial. Drawing from 5 major psychological intervention systems, it splits into relieving distress and solving real-world problems, helping you spot flaws in old patterns and stand firm with smarter, science-based approaches, bringing rationality back home. I still use these positive exercises often. The real boss is our ingrained neural circuits, deeply rooted. That's why EBP dedicates half its later stages to high-stakes interpersonal scenarios, guiding users to solidify and apply scientific regulation skills. These tangible changes are what users experience post-training. Beyond short-term relief, we need lasting skills to handle life's pressures, forming strong new habits to break painful old cycles. EBP tracks users' progress, showing that after one cycle, anxiety and depression improve by over 80%, newbie anxiety and anger drop by over 40%, depression falls by 37%, and regulation skills rise by 27%. Even the toughest emotional struggles show marked improvement after 3 cycles. The Pause team excels at leveraging neuroplasticity, boosting motivation so you finish without noticing. EBP takes just 20 to 30 minutes daily, works on phones or computers.